Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my viewers. Please subscribe, like, and share my channel. And also, if you have any issues in regarding your data analysis for your research paper or for thesis or dissertation, you may contact me on my given email address or on my WhatsApp number. You can have any query, or you can have a complicated model. You can hire my services to get your problem solved. I am going to today this is my second video. In first video I have just briefly introduced about the SmartPLS. Now in this video I am going to show you that how can we set up our first model in SmartPLS version 4, and how can we it's also in this video I will also show you that how the new environment of SmartPLS 4 looks like. Before setting up my first model, I have taken a research model basically from my study, and I will show you that how can we work based on this model. Most of the videos people have different models and work on that differently models, and in every new video they have a new model. I want to show you that a student can have definitely a single model, and he has to work in a research paper or in his or her thesis, so he has to follow his own model. So I want to show you that how can we do analysis for our given research model in a stepwise in step to step accordingly. And this will also help out the student that how can we which type of model we have to run, which type of hypothesis we have made, and we have to test them. And it also will help us to that how can we execute or run or get the desired results of our research model. In this model, this is my base model, and I will follow this model my whole of the series of the video in SmartPLS, and I will show you that how we will work on it. Here I have basically you can see that one IV in this study, definitely in a different studies we have different IVs, like more than 1, 2, 3, or 4 IVs we may have. Similarly, we have different mediators, different moderators, and different dependent variables. So I just taken this model as my base model, and I will show you in my other series whenever I complete this model analysis in stepwise in coming videos. At the last I will show a complex model, that in more complex models we can also easily perform analysis in SmartPLS 4. So here in this study I have just one my IV independent variable, definitely a single independent variable I am taking. Here is the moderator. The moderator is between the IV and the mediator one. You can see here I have 3 mediators. For the sake of simplicity, I have renamed the variables instead of mentioning the exact name of my variables. I have renamed as a moderator, mediator, independent variable, moderation. The student can easily understand that how can we run this type of model in our SmartPLS or any other softwares. So here I have taken 3 mediators, basically mediator 1, mediator 2, mediator 3, and I have 2 dependent variables, dv1 and dv2, named are dv1 and dv2. Mediator 1, you can see here that the mediator 2 and mediator 3 has the parallel mediation, and while mediator 1 is if we see the mediator 1 relationship with the mediator 2 and from dependent variable, now this becomes sequential mediation. So I will deal here with the sequential mediation also, and parallel mediation with a moderation effect. I will show you that in simple way the moderation effect between the IV and this mediator for simple moderation context, and I will show you how can we run the moderated mediation model in SmartPLS in easy way, or how can we perform multiple mediation or moderation. So this is my base model. I will try to explain you in a detail in my upcoming videos in it. So first of all, we are going to study here basically the as per my model, we are here again in the new environment of SmartPLS 4. Prior to set up our new model, we have to start from setting up our folder where we can do analysis. Our analysis will be saved for our future use. You can uh, set your directory or your folder, desired folder here. I have just you can see that I have made a directory for D in SmartPLS 4 that I have shown in the my last video, that how can we create a directory in the SmartPLS 4. So I have already created this. If I go beyond that, it will take much time to make this video. Uh, we directly start here with selecting a new project. Whenever you have a new work or you have to perform a new model testing, you should create a new project. As many as you have a new project, different project, you can create a new project in this smart PLS. What is PLSM regression process? It will be discussed with the time to time and in our next steps when I will create videos in the incoming videos. I will show you. First of all, we click on the new project icon. It will ask us about the rename it. We have to given its name for the specific. You have to give its specific name. Like for example, I will give name it to online tutorials. So I give him it name online tutorials. I will click on the create, and this have created our new project. It will be marked as a online tutorial. It's like opening folder, and if I click on the second one, it is already I have created and worked on some of my students analysis I performed that are saved in there, but I will work on the online tutorial project. Now the next step is come to here. Prior to create a model, you have to import the data file. Now this allows us to if I directly click on the import data file, and it will open a menu. It's very good that SmartPLS 4's authors and the programmers have now make changes in selecting our data sets. Like in previous version, SmartPLS 3 just it supports only for CSV files, that was comma delimited files, and that remain and it was not good that we only limited to the CSV file. Now they have allow us to we can use our CSV file, text files, like SPSS files directly. You can use Excel's file, XLS and XLSX updated version. We can use these type of files here easily. I have two data sets here. I have for the sake of simplicity, I have made both file, YouTube dataset for Excel file and also for YouTube dataset for SPSS file. So you can easily add or select these files in your analysis purpose. So here I select SPSS file directly by clicking here YouTube dataset. So it will import the dataset file here. When we import the data set file, it will do a preliminary working on it, and after making certain changes, then we go for the analysis purpose. Prior to making changes in this dataset file, I can show you that what actually my data has, and what is data about regarding this analysis. Here I have like I have shown you earlier that my data set is of sample size is about 356 respondent. Data is basically have 356 respondent datas, and I have some demographic variables like gender, marital status, age, and after that I have the data set have the IVs, four factors of independent variables. Similarly, moderation have few 12 items, and mediator 1, mediator 2, mediator 3, and similarly dependent variable and dependent variable A and B both. In this data set I have taken the study to explain the student about in a detail that how can we work on a complex or a larger model. So I have taken this data set because it has a number of more number of items that can easily be work and understand on it. Here the new things comes when you import dataset either from your Excel or your SPS file. This first window will open here. Now this what it shows here, it shows that you have to set the data accordingly. This is the working you have to do in on it. Like for example here, the here is the number, like, and number it's showing the range of the minimum and maximum. So I think, yeah, here I have issue in these two variables, like that gender is showing 1 2 3 56. It means that it was a number, and while the number was showing for certain other variables like age or certain other variable. So you have to, when you click on this arrow, you will get three options here: the metric, the ordinal, and the categorical. The metric stand for the when we have data like number it has a 1 2 3 56, or you have a point or decimal data, or you have salaries data, that are considered as metric data. Ordinal data is considered when we have generally Likert scale, use Likert scale, and we have ranging from 1 to 5. That is actually ordinal data. You may have a 5-point Likert scale, you may have a 7-point Likert scale, so it will be considered as ordinal data. And the third is categorical data, like we have a demographics, like here I have gender, marital state, and age. These are considered as a categorical data, and categorical data has usage, different usage we will discuss in upcoming videos. Here if I can show you, this is a number. If I rename, can I rename it? It's so I again import data file here after correcting the issue in my some categorical variables, and it will load again. Here you can see now it is corrected that the number is showing 1 for 356. That will remain as a metric, and gender has true, definitely categories 1 or 2, 1 for male or 2 for female, and marital status is for married or unmarried, and age is a have value 1 to 5, and it will be also considered as a categorical variables, not as a binary. Binary has two outcomes, while categorically we are showing that the age is has a categories because we have grouped in the age wise. Similarly, for other variables like IV1, we have to, it is showing that it is metric, but that basically IV1 shows the independent variable that is made with the 4 items on a 5-point Likert scale. So we have to rescale it. Rescale it means that we have to made it as a ordinal scale. So here I made this in ordinal scale, and IV2 is again not a metric, and it is considered as a ordinal scale. If this I have a about 80 indicators, mean 80 items, or for 80 items I have to change one by one all variables accordingly, and most of but all of the items are on a 5-point Likert scale, and it will some time to reorganize them, setting up ordinal metric. This here let me check that they have given a scale and bulk change, and what it does for us. So scale here we will use, as they have given option that we have a metric, binary, ordinal or category. We mark as here is the ordinal when we have minimum value of 1 and maximum value of 5, and we can apply on it. Now what it changed? No, it has changed the all the values metric to ordinal scale. Now this will be a very easy for you whenever you deal with your data. Definitely in our studies the data is basically on an ordinal scale. When we work on the structural equation modeling, we have our data from a questionnaire, and the questionnaire are generally measured in a on a ordinal scale, Likert scale 1 to 5 or 1 to 7. So you can change here all of the setting in ordinal scale. Now you have limited the variables that are maybe in a binary scale, in a categorical state, or in a metric form. So you can, the limited number can easily change. For example, number is no, I can change in a metric, gender into binary, marital status into binary, and age is here as the age is for the categorical. They have just changed certain values here, like for example it has a 1 to given a 1 to 5 score, like, but we can, I let me check, we can change it as a 2. Now its value be set at a 1 and 2, that basically for binary sim. Once you done here, because why I am spending more time on this data import, most of the student will directly go there and start working on there, but this is a crucial, the first step when you have to clear about that how can we import in data and the what is the data setting, then you can go for further analysis. If we set here the ordinal in metric scale instead of ordinal scale, definitely you will face the issue there in your data analysis. I can show you here. For example, let me change here the IV1 into metric, but I will show in you next video when I will perform confirmatory factor analysis. For the sake of time, it should be remain as the same. Here another option you may have, if you have a missing data, you can set a certain value, like might be 888 certain value. Whenever you have a missing data, that will value will be changed with the amount or number that you will give here. So prior to import data in SmartPLS, one of the, I think, difficulty I face, or the problem I have seen, that we can't change our data when we import the data file in our SmartPLS. If you want to change your data, you have to go to your Excel, you have to go to your Excel file or SPS file, and there you have to make changes, and again you have to re-import the data. Again you have to import the data as a new data set in your SmartPLS. So prior to importing data or conducting your analysis, you have to clean your data in Excel or SPS and find out if you have a missing values or any values that may be greater than your Likert scale values, are that may be unnecessary or irrelevant values. So prior to import your data, you must have a clean and well defined data and properly enter data. So I have this data set. Now I am going to import this data, clicking on import this data, and it will be show here. First of all, like in previous version of SmartPLS 3, whenever we have import the data file, it shows the what type of data we have, and it provides us its descriptive analysis. So in the same way, they have given us here the prior descriptive analysis of the our data, and here we can see that do we have a missing values, and you can see here is the number of basically the variables we have entered here, like we have 80 number of indicators here. They are different, representing different constructs. We may have categorical variables here. In the type, you can see that we have made in the first step that it is either a categorically ordinal or metric variable. So here The first one we set as metric, second one is the binary showing 0 and 1, and marital status also binary, age is categorically, and IV is ordinal, and so on. Missing value, you can check here if you have a missing value. In my data I have no missing value, so it is showing 0 0. The mean score of each variable is shown here, the median is shown, the scale minimum and maximum values are also showing here, and observed minimum and observed maximum you can also have here. This is a basically descriptive statistic. If you want your data or items descriptive statistic or analysis, you can have all the information here and you can copy it here. So the descriptive analysis are shown here, like a standard deviation for each item, cortices and skewness, and Kramer when missing p-value. The p-value is also shown for the significance of all items are all about the data. This confirms that you have well-defined data and there is no issue in so far in your data entering or which the data you have. Here you can if you want to copy this all information of descriptive analysis, you can easily copy to it to Excel, and after certain formatting you can import it in your Word file, and where you can add in your thesis or in other files. You can here also have option, you can zoom in or zoom out here. This SmartPLS added this new function in this version. Most of time you will see that the model will look like a very zoom in view, so you can improve zoom in or zoom out here. What we have done in when we have imported the data, you can change all, you can also change here, like for example when we have certain option here, like back pin, we will move to on our home screen, and you will if you click on the setup, that will open the menu that we have used for setting up the indicator scales like metric, binary, category. If at the start of time, uh, if you if you have not changed the for example scale accordingly, you can change here again also. So for example, if you set it a categorically, you can set it a metric or ordinally again here. Now there is also no issue once you import the data directly, and after that you can also change the scaling of here. We can also add groups when different group and perform multi-group analysis. We can generate the groups, and also can copy this data to our Excel or CSV file here. This allows us, you can here is the indicators, basically shows about the indicators descriptive analysis. If you click here the indicator correlations, basically it will show the correlation among all the indicators. That is unnecessary, basically we don't require it for this indicator correlation, but sometimes we are concerned about it when we deal for certain analysis. For example, this can provide you information like information like, for example, I have 4 items for independent variables. So the indicators you have, for example, independent variables, we have 4 items. You can see here the correlation between the independent variables. That will also see that these items are related with each other. Then you can get information like first type information here also, that either these item are indicator of certain construct or certain variable are related with each other or not. The first information we can get here also. So I am moving back to the main window. Here I click on the back and we are in the main window. So far we have just imported the data and we have not created the model. I now I want to create my model, so I will click on the create model icon. It will allow me, first of all it will show that what is the name of project and what type of model we are going to run. Now when we click on it, there are 3 options here: PLS, SEM, structure equation modeling. Either we are using regression or process macro. When you are working with your latent variables or with the items of your variables, like mostly we do in a structural equation modeling, then we have to select in the structured equation modeling. If you have a observed value like you have already scores of the items, a single variable, and just want to simply see the regression analysis, you can directly go here for a regression. You will select the regression option here, and the process shows the Hayes process that we mostly work in the last in students have worked in the SPS that provides us the Hayes process macro. They have now incorporated in SmartPLS 4. You can also perform Hayes process in this SmartPLS, but structured equation model in my point of view. In my point of view, here process also works in the SEM, but if you want to work on separately on it, you can perform in the process macro. I just select here PLS SEM because I am going to work with the latent variable, so I will select PLS SEM. I have to give name to this model, so because I am constructing my first model and this will be my base model, and I will use it for further analysis in stepwise. I will explain that how a student should work on this type of model, so I am giving name it as a base model. I will click on the save icon. Now once I will click on the save icon, it will create and show a blank view where we can construct our model. So here you will, when we click on the model and save your file there, you will come up with a blank screen here, and your all items or your variables or your indicators will be shown here. You can now have option, you can definitely may have a different data sets linked with your main model or your new project. You can select here different data set. Now I am using a single data set, so it is only showing here a YouTube data set. If you look on this environment or on this view of the SmartPLS, you can see here the again here is a back icon. Whenever you want to go to main screen or either run a second model, or you have to perform an analysis of another model, you just must have to click on the back icon, not on the close icon. When if you close on this icon, it will close the SmartPLS program, and when you click on the back icon, it will be here on your main screen, and this will be your main screen. From there you can select different models or change your data set or do different types of base work from in this. I again click on the base model, and it will we will be there where we have to construct our model. Now in this case, you can say this is our blank or white space where we have to make our model that I have shown you earlier. And on the top of you have different option now. So, calculate icon, which was in prior version shown in the at the last of the menu icon. Now it is the third stage. Save icon will show you that whenever you do a work, you can timely save with that your work uh, time to time. Select is again command. Whenever you will perform certain actions, you move through the select buttons and so on. Latent variables, drawing of latent variables and connect mean we will show that how we will connect the variables with each other. They have now included quadratic effect, Gaussian cupola. These are two basic new addition in this SmartPLS 4 function that were not used, and we will I will explain you in advanced videos. Moderating effect, we already deal with it in previous version. Now again they have provided it here, and definitely you can comment it. When how can we create our model? There are different ways we can create a model. For example, in the first model is that we can click on the latent variable, and just I click here latent variable, and I will click here. Uh, when I am back to the select icon, I'm showing you that how can we create a latent variable. Like they have shown here, the double click in empty space to create new latent variable. If I click here, double click on this menu, they here he will ask me about the name the variable. Let's suppose I rename it IV stand for independent variable, and after renaming I will click on the enter icon. Here is the blank latent variable. Now how can I connect the independent variables with this? I just select, you can either select one by one on it. This is showing I am showing that how could, and in a different ways the items are create a latent variable in our research model. Here you can also see in the prior version we have here option to increase, decrease, left, right, move the icons left, right, and so on. So here you will see that I have when I click on this latent variable, here are the four options. The four arrows are basically showing him. These arrows are showing that we can move the icons on the top, left, bottom, right, and so on. If I click on the left side, it will move on the left side. If I click, it will be on the up side, and down side and right side. So accordingly you can manage your latent variables in which direction you want to show them. uh, they have no incorporated. For example, if I move this icon here, and this here, and this here, and this here, now we can align them easily. In prior version it was certain a little bit difficult, but now they have option. When we click, it will show a green line here, and green line will show indicate that either your items are in line or on a different location. So accordingly you can set the icons in a specific way. So this variable is created here. The information you have, like IV1, and in the black box it is showing ordinal. We can zoom in it here. This is called ordinal, and ordinal mean for what we have named as a we name it as ordinal, categorized as ordinal. If it will be metric, it will be shown here metric, and so on. You can remove the ordinal or metric or scale information here by clicking on this pencil icon. If you click on the pencil icon, now it will be simply show your variable. If you click on this, it will show either it is ordinal, it is a metric, or it is a categorical variable. So this will tell you that how can we move in it. Again you have to follow the zoom. Like if I make a zoom here, it will zoom in and it will zoom out, and accordingly when you work with a large model you have to make here zoom in or zoom out icon accordingly. First, it's my video is getting lengthy. Just for sake of time, that how we connect a variable, I just take the so far two variables. Dependent variable is another way to select the dependent to import or create a latent variable is just click on the for example, I have a DVA first my dependent variable, and it has 16 items. I will click on the first one and the last 16 one with the shift icon. I will press shift and click on the first and the last one, and it will be highlighted, and I just drag in the white screen. It will ask me what would be its name. I name it a DVA, mean it's first dependent variable, and just click on the enter. Now you can see here that it created a dependent variable here. Now it has more items, and when you are zoom out, it will not, all items will not be shown, so you have to zoom in. Here I have made zoom in, and now the items are uh, shown here in more way. You can align the variables accordingly, and if you zoom in here, this is the case when you have one I face a certain difficulty when we work with the SmartPLS, and we have more items. Their alignment it's become a difficult way. So if we change it, either it move, increase, decrease the length or the width of the dependent variable, we can. And definitely we have to make alignment it accordingly. Either we have another option that we can hide the items representing in here. Just closing my video, I can connect them until these are showing different colors. And it is mean that we here it is showing that problem, the variable is not connected and we cannot perform analysis. I have to connect it. I will click on the connect but icon, then I will click on the IV button and drag the cursor to the DV and stop there. Now its color turn blue, and this shows that we can now execute our model. So this video becomes a certain lengthy. I have to close in it. I will show you the next working in my next video that will be related to confirmatory factor analysis, and I will draw a complete model in it. So far thank you very much for bearing with me, and please watch and follow the step. You will learn a lot by following my videos in future. Thank you.